Hello everyone, welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown, where we take a look at this shocking expose of the American healthcare system. We look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week. But before we do, huge shout out to my newest patrons. Okay, that's done. Let's get into the week. Thanks to everybody for continuing watching, subscribing, and as always, huge shout out to all my patrons. Thank you for supporting the channel. You're amazing. You are better than everyone who doesn't, and I'm going to stand by that. Sorry. But everybody else, you're pretty good too. So let's get into the week. We're starting off over on GameFound with 1980 Sixtina. The 1980 Sixtina is a new game in our 1900 series, of course, where we try to put great stories from the 20th century inside small boxes. Okay. The game recreates a restoration of the great Renaissance frescoes of the Sistine Chapel between 1980 and 1994. Cool. I see wooden discs. I am immediately interested. I'm a simple man. Show me wooden cubes and discs, and you'll have my attention for at least 72 hours. I'll be staring at this for the next 72 hours, and hopefully I can get this done on time. Cool, that told me nothing, but it showed me that they have a bunch of different games, and this might be the first one that I've heard of them. And it's only $30, so I'm quite interested. It's hopefully giving you Red Cathedral vibes, which would be a huge boon and a huge compliment to this game in terms of committing a certain amount to each section of the Sistine Chapel and then flipping it over, but of course we have to go to the how to play and the rulebook to know more. This is nice, almost at the top of the page, very good, with the how to play. Yeah, in each game you assemble the Sistine Chapel with various frescoes from the ceiling: Genesis, North Wall, Jesus Christ, South Wall, Moses, and West Wall, Final Judgment. Of course, the Final Judgment falls heavily on the West. Oh, look at that. Hey, Into the AM just sent me a little message. This isn't sponsored by Into the AM. They said, hey, we really liked your all-day pants integration, so can we feature it in their newsletter? So I'm going to say yes, because I love their stuff, and it's pretty much the only thing that I wear. You can use code SLIPPERYJIM if you're ever over on Into the AM and you're getting yourself some graphic tees or some other tees or some pants. I thought the pants were fine. Honestly, I think the other integrations are better because I probably wear them more. But I thought they were definitely comfy. They were definitely comfy. So I just think that the shirts are more affordable. But that I guess makes sense because you can wear a shirt, one day, and then you wear pants for 23 days in a row before you wash them. Anyway, there's a free ad for you Into the AM. Let's get back to this. Yeah, I mean, their stuff's great. Wow, I love their stuff. Okay, on your turn to perform one of these three actions: the technical preparation, draw 3 technique cards from the deck with a hand limit of 8. You acquire materials, discard as many technique cards as you want, and for each one, take a material of your color from the general supply. So it's only your own color, so each card is worth 3 materials. So you're essentially getting 3 materials each time. Play one or several cards of the same technique from your hand to restore a fresco with that type of technique. I see. So the cards pertain to the type of technique. It's not necessarily the color. The color just indicates what you have done. If you play the exact value required, discard the technique cards and perform an excellent restoration. Aha. If you play a higher value, you can perform a correct restoration. So you go up or down. Oh, if you play a lower value, you perform a prudent restoration, which lowers the fresco's total value, but will allow you to keep the technique cards in your play area and receive points at the end of the game. Interesting. So you can attack people, essentially. Additionally, you'll always be able to add as many materials to the fresco as the number of cards used in the restoration. Compete to contribute the more materials than the other player when the fresco is scored. As the frescoes are scored, new ones will be revealed, having the restored Sistine Chapel on your table at the end of the game. Yeah, that seems fun. I just want to see what the scoring is. Oh, and there are also objective cards, which this is why you read the rulebook. See, the objective cards there to give it some variability, which I really like. Pretty good. But there's only 3 black materials, so kind of you're going to be fighting for the use of those as well. That feels like it's a limited resource. And I want to know if you need the number of resources here in order to put it on. Like if that's 6, in order to complete that 6, do you need a 6 or do you just need a 1? Feels like you just need a 1. Points for completing. Okay, first, second, and third, and then modifiers to the scores for each excellent or prudent restoration. Oh, so it's modified to the score. I see. So it just makes it worth less, but you're still helping to complete it, which is also interesting. Yeah, we're off to a good start, I think. Objectives, you put something down, points to the first 3 players who achieve the objectives. Cool. Additionally, you can place up to as many materials of your color as the number of cards played. So you played 3 cards, you can add 3 materials, because I assume it's the number of materials on there, so that's how you can boost it, even if you're only contributing to one aspect of the restoration. I see, right? So blues contributed, they're both contributing 3-3, and then whoever contributed the most excellent restorations breaks that tie. Cool. What's a 2-player game? follows the same rules as a 3-player game. Each receives 15 materials. Oh, Gianluigi is a little automa. The same restoration technique is where the automa goes. Cool. Yeah, I think this looks quite good. I think this is a really good start, especially for 19 euro? This seems fun. Seems very simple, pretty fun. Really quite impressed. And 26 large sheet and fresco cards, so there's a little bit of variability in terms of what numbers you need to hit, right? What's shipping like? This is really nice. Yeah, 30 bucks Canadian. Shipping's probably what, 20? 0 to Spain. Free shipping to Spain. 10 euros to ship to Canada. That feels pretty reasonable. And you can get a group buy on it. So if you're doing 4, it's only 5 euros, both to the US and Canada. So it would make it like 40. I think this is a great, I really didn't expect anything from it. I almost skipped it, but I think this looks quite good. And yeah, just a simple not an economic, but like action efficiency game. You're going to be a little bit determined by the randomness of the cards that you draw. What can you do? Maybe that will make it less satisfying if somebody just draws better cards than you, or cards that link up, but I think it'll be choosing when to do the excellent restorations. Do you hold for an excellent restoration? Do you not? Right? Like do you try to boost things up? Do you tear down other works? I think it looks pretty neat. I think the potential here is pretty solid. I think something like Red Cathedral will probably still be a lot more interesting, but I think this is a really nice, solid fare. And if you're interested in that, it finishes tomorrow, Tuesday, the 23rd. I think that's tomorrow. Yep. And at 11 a.m. Let's keep it moving. I don't know what this is, if this is even a game here. This is God Gauntlet. Powerful gods, combined power cards, the lore. Okay. The god, how to play. just goes to a YouTube video. I think I've seen enough. You have a bunch of cards, you play them to move up on a track. You get to the end of that track exactly 3 times, you win. These cards have random numbers on them, and you have cards that can affect other people. So, yep, you're right before the summit. No, you're not. You're at the bottom. Haha. Not really my style of game, and that's me being as nice as I can. But if you're interested, that finishes Wednesday, July 24th at 9 a.m. We're going to keep on moving to Emerald Skulls. Push your luck as you roll the dice, wager in real time with up to 8 players. It's raised a bunch. So that's kind of exciting. Only 20 bucks. Yeah, let's see what this one's all about. Thunderworks. Oh, Thunderworks games. They do good stuff. It seems like a fun little push your luck game. You're going to roll the dice. Basically, you're rolling the dice and everybody else is betting on what you roll. So everybody stays engaged in that dice rolling, but you're just chucking dice over and over and pushing your luck to see how many skulls or gears you can get without busting. 1, 2, 5, 3, sir, 3. You can only bet while the dice are in the tumbler's hand. That's fun. Quicker you wager, the bigger your payout. Feels like you're in a mini casino. Yeah, I get that. Fans of Yahtzee, casino craps. Yeah, I kind of see this is just like craps without losing all of your money every time. Probably that one. Oh, you can spend gears to buy more dice. All right. Unless the tumbler is busted, they can roll in place again. I want to know how much it takes to bust. That's what I've always wanted to know. Because you never know how much it takes to bust. Some days it's different than others. Normally, here in the Goblin Town, it says 30 to 45 minutes, and that seems like not enough. This is the best, this is a great first player. The player who looks most like a goblin takes the first turn as the tumbler. I'm sure I've told this story before on this, but when I was in grade 9 or 10, we had a geography class, and there were these 2 people who were obsessed with the size of their hands. They both had gigantic hands, and they didn't want to have gigantic hands. They wanted to have smaller hands. And so they always said that the other person had bigger hands. And so we had to make games. And so I had like a India trivia game because, well, I picked India because my uncle's Indian and from there. And I was like, yo, give me a bunch of trivia questions, Uncle Sheev. Okay. Anyway, and so I made the first player the person who has the largest hand, or the person who has the smallest hands. Whichever one that they didn't want, I made that the first player marker so that one of them would have to concede if they wanted to be a first player, which was a definite advantage because it was just like first to the end of a track. And so if you go first, well, I didn't know about compensating second place at that point. That was beyond my skill set. Oh, skulls are wild. Okay. Oh, I see. So it says any number of 1, 2, 3 can be placed there, but I think if you re-roll, I think you cannot go back. That's what they were saying. Nope, that's wrong. I lied to you. This is why you read the rulebook before you hypothesize. No, my hypotheses are usually pretty good. For all rolls after the first, dice must be placed on the highest level already containing dice or on a higher level. So if you roll your dice first and you put a 3 down, then you roll this, you can't put a 1 down because you can't put a lower. You must put more 3s. And so you have to put something or else you bust. And that will determine how many gears you get. I think it'll be on one side, you get a bunch of gears, etc. Oh, cool. And if you chicken out, you can't cash in on your wild dice. But if you gem out, which is you make it to the top, or you double out, which is you make it to the top and run out of dice, then you do get to have those things pay out. So they can kind of keep your run going, but they won't give you additional gears. And then each dice on each level awards gears or reroll cubes based upon the table below. Cool. So 1-1, yeah. Rerolling dice, cool. Yeah, this seems nice. I really like this use of the wilds. I think that seems fun. I think having your betting on things as the game goes on, solid. And only $20. That's 28 Canadian. Again, yeah, really solid. It would be 25 at retail, so that means you should probably just get it at retail. Oh, look at that. $5 shipping to the US. Hey, there you go. And you get with the 7 to 8 player expand, which is just a few extra stuff. Canada, $10 shipping. Yeah, it's not bad. If you like push your luck games, I think it could be fun. I don't see it necessarily having like super staying power in my collection, but as like a mountain goats alternative, I think this could be that. That finishes Wednesday, July 24th at 4 p.m. Let's keep it moving to this one, if it is in English enough. Ginza Retro Cafe, board game made in Japan. All right, that's potentially interesting. This is another sort of dice roller. How much are you going to be? Standard version, only Japanese. Cards are only in Japanese. Okay, well, that'd be kind of cool. For 44, and then English and Japanese for 53 Canadian. See, again, it's tough. It's tough when you have like these cheaper games that are doing fun things, and then you have something that's almost double the price doing probably a similar fun thing as Emerald City, Emerald Skulls. But when it is double the price, you have to really resonate with the theme. This is kind of moon rollers or moon rakers in a sense, at least from what I gathered, because you might be trying to fill an order yourself with your dice, and that might be fine, or you might need to enlist other people's help to fulfill it as well, and then share the victory points. Because if you don't fulfill it, you don't get the victory point, essentially is what these order cards are broken down into. There's the victory points at the bottom, and then you also get coins for some reason, which I assume will be used to purchase action. 3 action tokens, each round allowing as many action tokens. So you can use your action tokens to change and manipulate your dice rolls. Players can utilize coins to upgrade their abilities, so you get to upgrade your abilities as you go along. Okay, thank you for the rulebook. I might have misinterpreted that. I really want it to be some sort of cooperation. I think they said you can cooperate in that main game. Oh, cool. And the customers tell you if it's like level 1, level 2, level 3, so they'll probably level up as you go through. Okay, so it seems like you can put things on customers that people have already contributed to. I just don't know if you would, right? Like if there's a distinct victory point advantage for somebody who's already claimed it, like you're not going to help claim it, but then they have to finish it themselves. There's a little bit of negotiation. They say, listen, yeah, I'll finish that one up and then I can just not. But yeah, I don't know. It seems okay. Like it doesn't seem horrible, but it's $53 Canadian, then shipping's probably going to be what? Yeah, pretty significant. About $25 Canadian to get to the US. Yeah, a little bit more than that to get to Canada. So it's like an $80 game, which this certainly is not for me. But if this interests you, check it out. It finishes Wednesday, July 24th at 10 p.m. All right, let's keep it moving to Echoes of Emperors, strategy historic board game. Experience strategic warfare with Echoes of Emperors, medieval-themed chess-like gameplay with diverse civilizations to outsmart foes. Sure, let's see. Okay, I'm more intrigued in this for the super expensive resin copy, which is 148 euros, just because those wooden figures look so cool. They look like the real old, like something you'd see in a museum. But this is a little chess-like game, as they describe it, as you're throwing your people onto the map. They're kind of staying in your reserve over here, and you're playing cards to give them, I assume, special powers. Let's see if they have how to play. Each player commands a faction on the battle map, exploring the land, building camps and barracks, attacking enemy areas, and defending their own. As the game progresses, stronger units appear on the field. Even renowned conquerors may join the fray. Press your advantage, outmaneuver your opponent, and lay siege to their capital. Destroy your opponent's capital or completely wipe out their army to be declared the victor of this battle. There's 2 ways to win: kill everybody or just kill the king. Yeah, focus on 1v1 gameplay. You can do a 4-player version of it, but I think it's probably 1v1, but who knows? Oh, cool. Oh, this is great. You can click on it. You can see all the different cards and move in. Any unit, protection 1. Cool. This is just kind of how you, when one of your units is attacked with melee, it has protection 1. The enemy unit takes 1 extra melee damage, so it's just like moving things around, and you can upgrade yourself. Really like that. Love this structure that you can just click on these to see what the cards are. That's huge. Key features. Diverse decks and maps. Okay. Historical accuracy. I mean, these look friggin' bomb, you know? But you shouldn't buy a game just because it looks physically cool. You want to actually play it. Especially don't drop friggin' $200 on it before you know if you like it. Okay, setup. You decide together which map to play on, then you roll a dice. The highest roll chooses whether to pick a civilization or let their opponent pick first, because some civilizations have different strengths. The Norsemen are better on water maps, essentially, but there are other things that can counter other things, I assume, which I like that. I like that decision-making process. That feels fun to me. Although it says the map is initially hidden except for starting tiles, so I don't quite know how you can pick your map together and then have it be initially hidden. Played in turns. Turn start, the mobilization, drafting phase, turn end. So you start your turn by unexhausting all your resources and units, okay? So they can do one thing. So it's very, very much like a war skirmish game and less like a chess game. You can activate all your units, it seems. Mobilization focuses on the map. Explore tiles, build your economy to afford units and technologies from your hand. Okay, because everything has a cost. Outmaneuver your opponents using chess-style movement. So I think the only sort of chess attributes here are that it's on a friggin' square grid and that each unit moves in the same way, but you're still trying to expand your land. You're trying to get resources to pay for upgrades, to use those upgrades against people. Yeah, it determines the number of moves that they can do. When you explore, you get to choose how it's oriented. Oh, and there's a health thing, so it's not even like chess at all. Attacks can be melee or ranged. Units lose health based on the opponent's attack stat. Yeah, melee attacks require moving into the opponent's square. Ranged attacks can be adjacent. So the positioning still matters. And then we have the drafting phase. Using your gathered resources, you can play cards from your hand. Don't quite see why that's drafting, but you're just playing cards. Yeah, play until you lose all your active units or the capital life point reach 0. Yeah, a real sort of, there is a rule book, but I felt pretty good about that breakdown. I can definitely see, only 13 pages? Yeah, then I probably know everything. I can definitely see the comparisons to not chess at all, but to just the standard sort of skirmishy war game. So if you want that in, I guess, I don't even want to call it a chess setting. It just seems like the way they attribute it to chess is that you probably have a rook that can move up and down, left and right, and you probably have a bishop that can move diagonally. That's going to be my assumption. Otherwise, it just seems like a pretty standard skirmishy attack game, but seems fun, seems well thought out. I'm a little less interested in it that it doesn't have that abstract feel, and it'll feel more like that tete-a-tete. It's 63 Canadian, and then shipping for me is going to be 19 to 23 bucks for one set. So again, an $80 game that I'm not particularly interested in. But if you're interested, check it out. The finish is Thursday, July 25th at 7:58. We're going to move along to Heroes of Stanley Park. Experience epic battles using monsters and spells in this easy-to-learn and deeply strategic dueling card game. I like to think of this as like just an ordinary park, and that I would much rather change all of this art into, grannies feeding the pigeons and other people playing bocce ball and all those sorts of the real heroes of Stanley Park are the ones who keep the pigeons alive. You know who the real hero of Stanley Park is? Yeah, you're so cute in there. That's where a cryptid was, but there's a different cryptid in there right now. Oh, you're so cute. Yes, you're so cute. Okay, Say goodbye to the people. Oh, he's coming. See, that's better. That's much better. Okay, a standard dueling card game. Oh, a shared deck dueling card game, where players battle using monsters and spells. Inspired by everything I love most in trading card games and RPG. Offers amazing gameplay with a twist. I do like a shared deck. I don't mind that there's going to be that inherent randomness there. I like that it's not a TCG. Fight when you think you hold the advantage, bluff when you don't. Okay. Roll the dice in battle to see whether the attack misses or earns bonus damage. Yum, 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 yum. Activate spells to turn the tide of battle or to advance further in the game. See who wins. Fight until one player surrenders or their HP reaches 0. I like the surrender idea because it just includes in there, okay, yeah, it's like pretty clear that I've won. You want to play again instead of trying to finish it. I don't know if that shifted for anybody out there. I used to always want to finish a game, right? I used to always be kind of obsessed with finishing a game. And then now when people quit on Board Game Arena, I'm thrilled about it. I am, because I'm like, yeah, I get it. I had already won. And I'd gotten the engine ramped up. Like I've done that and had that happen in Seasons a bunch. In Seasons, it still sometimes bums me out because normally you wait until the very end of the last turn to really kind of pop off your engine. But for something like Terraforming Mars, my favorite part of that is the initial decision making. Like that's my favorite part of the game, is that choosing your corp and choosing your preludes and choosing the cards that you start with and seeing how that impacts the game. And so having people quit like halfway through once I've already stored ahead, sure, that's great. Saves me time, and I can go and do that initial phase once again. All right, so here's the monsters. You got levels. We have level 1, level 2, level 6, and level 8. Okay, and level 10, and level 12. Look at that. I don't know what any of those things mean. How to play. Yeah, I'd love to know that. 10 cards, 5 to keep, 5 to the bottom half of your deck. Oh, of the deck. So here's what happens. You draw 2 cards from the deck. You summon a low-level monster to the field. In either Tack. It's different than attack. It's Tack. It's the sound that an old French cartoon makes. No, that's Tack. And that joke won't land for very, very many people. You put it in attack, or you put it in your defense. So
it's just like Duel Monsters.
You friggin' bet your butt it is. Oh, it's exactly like that. You've activated my trap card. You need to sacrifice lower level monsters equal to that level in order to summon them. So you can summon a 1 or a 2, ideally a 2, and then you destroy them to summon a 6 or an 8 or a 12 or whatever. It has to be an attack. You use the defense value or the attack value. Yeah, I mean, it's just like Duel Monsters. 34 bucks Canadian. That's not too bad. And then shipping is 10 bucks. Best estimate, I'm assuming it's US dollars. $11 Canada, so 45. So, potentially $50 to get this Yu-Gi-Oh clone. There you go. You can check it out. It finishes Thursday, July 25th at 9:03 a.m. Big AI art disclaimer at the bottom of the page saying, hey, listen, I didn't want to use AI art, but I'm poor. And you know what? I get that. Let's move on to Cuff the Bluff, a game of dicey deceptions. Master the art of deception and bluff your way to victory and see if your friends can catch your bluff. Can you handle the heat? Probably not. All right, that's all I really need to see. It's cockroach poker with dice. Cockroach poker is probably better because it's got fun little bugs on it. And you have, in Cockroach Poker, you can pass it. You can look at it and then pass it on to somebody else, so it gets the table more involved, which is a better mechanic. But there's also this, if you have the dice in front of you of a specific color and number, you can then activate these cards. So there's a little bit of a difference. There you go. How much is it? 15 bucks, $21 Canadian. That's not bad. I mean, it is just a bunch of dice, so you could probably play this with pretty much anything. But what's shipping like? Do they have it on this campaign? It only goes to the US and it's $4 US. You know what? 19 bucks and you get a bunch of dice if you wanted that for a little bluffing game. It's not a horrible price. I just don't think it's that interesting. And I think Cockroach Poker is likely going to be better. But hey, if that seems exciting to you, that finishes Thursday, July 25th at 10 a.m. Let's keep it moving to Raise the Flag. Set sail, face the journey ahead, prepare your best tricks, and become the best pirate for 4 to 8 players. Cool, so it's originally a Spanish language, but they're going to get it translated if, it gets enough money. Only €35, that's good. I was expecting something a little bit more expensive, just because I'm so used to pirate games being such this, epic sandbox style, but this is more in terms of like how you deal with the events that come up. 50 event cards with different setups to create almost endless games. I can't get an example of the cards though, unfortunately, because I don't speak Spanish. You're trying to get more resources than your opponents, I know that, and you're trying to make sure that your ship doesn't sink. You look at you friggin' boating around like your ship don't sink. I somehow doubt there's gonna be a rule book though. There is gameplay, but it's in Spanish again. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. I know, but I'd also want the English Inquisition. Ah, dang. Well, I don't quite have much to say because it is mostly Spanish, and you can see backers are from 108 are from Spain and 2 are from the US. So really, if you don't speak Spanish, even though it will be translated, they don't really have a way to access the gameplay when it is in English, which is a shame. And I think this should kind of just be in Spanish if they're just going to go that way. It's almost hit its goal, probably will. If you speak Spanish and you want to tell me what it's all about, hey, go check that out. The finish is Thursday, July 25th at 12:45 p.m. Moving along to Deep Regrets. Oh, except we're not, because I have deep regrets that I can't cover this. Because Deep Regrets, again, was one of the ones that decided to do the $1 pre-pledge, which we don't cover or give free advertising on this show. Although Deep Regrets might be a bit different. You know, it's worth being said that Deep Regrets decided to donate 100% of the pre-sale reservations to the Ocean Cleanup Organization, as well as $1 for every pledge during the Kickstarter. So they're donating at least $10,000. I somehow feel the fact that it's going to be $1 for everything during the Kickstarter kind of makes me feel like that was already planned, and they just were using that as a pivot, you know? Let me see FAQ. You get a free mini expansion. Yeah, they didn't like. So who knows? I do like that. That's the most positive response to the $1, I think, other than just sort of canceling it. For those of you who want to vote with your wallet, I think it's important to know, but unfortunately, maybe I will cover your next game because they say they won't use it again, and you probably will have a next game since it's raised a crap load of money. So there you go. Just pointing that out for people who want to continue to vote with your wallets and make sure that practice dies a horrible, horrible death. Let's move on to this one, the Super Battle Mon card game. A TCG Lite where decks are just 7 cards. Battles take 3 minutes, and you can play without a table. Okay. What is this Pokemon clone doing that other Pokemon clones have not? Well, just 7 cards, so it's already answered it. All right, let's get back to it. Super Battle Mon, player-friendly TCG that anyone could pick up easily. And you have the Glimmer form, which is different than Shiny. And so I bet this is just get a bajillion packs. Ugh. Choose 7 cards to build your deck. You play 1 card at the same time. You compare the power, and the loser discards 1 card. The player with the most cards in play wins. In a tie, the player with the most power wins. So you want to have the cards that do the best, but it's really just a, hey, did you put the water cards in your deck? No? Okay. I guess I win, essentially, is what this looks like it's going to be. I don't see much value in it, especially because it's another trading card game that's just basing their model off of you opening up packs of cards instead of actually playing a game. But if you're interested in that, the finish is Thursday, July 25th at 10 p.m. We're going to keep moving to our absolute favorite company, BoardGameTables.com. Sorry, Allplay. BoardGameTables.com has now added in wheels and a rolling cart. They must have seen this in Crafting Kingdoms, because Crafting Kingdoms was doing this, and I said, hey, this is one of the main reasons why you should get a Crafting Kingdoms bag over a Board Game Tables bag. And it seems like they have responded. I'm a bit bummed. I've been carrying too much stuff in my bags. And so my strap on my Board Game Tables bag, and this is an actual Board Game Tables bag because my mom got it for me for Christmas one year, it broke. It snapped off, like the carabiner itself snapped, which was a bit disappointing. Like this little handle thing kind of snapped. But then my prototype of the Crafting Kingdoms bag, one of the straps snapped. So I think it's just because board games are getting heavier and heavier, and the carrying capacity needs to be larger. But that was a bit of a bummer that I have kind of worn them out to a certain extent. This being a rolly bag, though, feels like a potential game changer because I'm really impressed with this bag. Let's see how much they're asking for it. The premium bag is $59 US, 81 Canadian plus shipping, so it's about $100 Canadian. And that was around what the Crafting Kingdoms was as well. And the rolling game bag gets you to 136 Canadian, so 150 Canadian. So it costs you basically an extra $50, right? It's an extra $40 US, so $50 Canadian to get the wheels. 65-pound weight carrying capacity. This says 65-pound carrying capacity as well. Yeah, I was probably carrying more than that. I was lugging like 100 pounds around on my back. Ooh, artist illustrated playmats. That's kind of cool. Those little bags I haven't yet tried, the $7 ones, and they feel like they're nice. They're kind of just like grocery bags that you can zip, essentially, you know? So maybe not, because you can probably get a grocery bag for $1 and then carry a couple of them. But I do quite like the quality of the board game tables bag, even though that sort of side strap, the carabiner, has now snapped off after, I don't know, it's like 3 years of use, let's say. This is a good thing, showing all the big ones that it can fit in there. Voidfall, Anzen Legacy, a bunch of small games, Anachrony Big Box, Castle of Burgundy Big Box. Yeah, I think this is BoardGamesTable.com is a really nice company. It's really solid. Okay, I'm interested to see the shoulder strap and if having the rolly case of it all makes a difference in terms of how you sling it on your back. It seems not. It seems like it's in a different spot than the backpack straps, which is interesting, and it's nice that it's kind of built in. It's slightly annoying with Crafting Kingdoms that you take it out in and out, but I do like that you can take it out because I rarely roll it. I was like, yeah, the rolling's going to be so good, and then I travel in a car, and then I walk from my car to my friend's house with my bag, right? Or if I'm like going on the subway or going on a bus, I'm not going to really roll it. I'm going to just mostly carry it. So I think it's one of those things where you may think you really want it, but unless you're like a huge convention goer, and if you're a huge convention goer and you're buying a bajillion things, well, you probably have like a little mini cart. Their shipping is always very good, right? Shipping is always like $4 or $9 to Canada. Like they are a really solid company. If you are in the market for a board game bag, they're a really solid company and their prices are pretty good. So I would recommend them. And I think after a bunch of use, I would gravitate towards the Board Game Tables bag over the Crafting Kingdoms bag. Those are the two that I have because of how it unzips. Crafting Kingdoms is sort of meant for larger, deeper games, and so they unzip it in a way that, well, I'll just friggin' bring it up. I don't know why I'm trying to describe it. You can see how it unzips a little. It unzips in a way that opens not just the top, but a little bit more than the top, and so you have that indentation, and that's really good for pulling out larger items. And I love the pockets on the side as well. Absolutely love those. But I find the placement of the handles isn't as effective as what I want it to be. And you can see, US $90. Look, there's my video. I made that video for Rado's channel. It was a sponsored playthrough or sponsored video. So yeah, $90 versus $60. But in here you get like a few extra features with like pockets and whatever. And so that's why they're so it's still a little bit cheaper to get the BoardGameTables.com. Sorry, Allplay bags. Yeah, and even with the strap breaking, which is a bit disappointing, I would still recommend them. And I don't know, I think it might be easy to get a carabiner. That's what I still have to do, though. It's still on my to-do list, and I would have liked that to not happen. But happen for both, essentially. So if you're interested in that finishes Friday, July 26th at 12 a.m., but there's really no sort of end date because you could probably just order these from them anytime you like. Let's move on to Peaks. Well, not Peaks, because Peaks also does the $1 pre-pledge. Let's see if they even talk about it. What about my $1 promo pack reservation? Look at that. If you're one of the many who paid $1 to receive the Mountains promo pack at a huge discount, you don't need to do anything about the promo pack. Oh, thank goodness. What's this promo pack? Wow. You know what? I don't care because I assume it was made up just to give you a false sense of a deal so that you have a sunk cost fallacy and think that you're buying into something and are more likely to purchase it. So we're not talking about that. We're going to talk about games that don't work with skeezy marketing companies like Launch Boom. Let's check out Effortless. Prepping for adventure. Prepare for yourself by visiting locations, increasing your attributes, collecting armor, and crafting items in this 1 to 5 player board game. Sure. Alright, so you're just going on a little RPG adventure and trying to collect as much armor as you can. It's a light worker placement board game with elements of set collection. On your turn, you place an effort in one of the 6 locations. Add a card to your growing hand. Once players have exhausted their effort, they will gain greatness based on the cards in their hand. Will you become the greatest? Farm-made games first created? No, they've done some stuff before. I think they've talked to me. Place a cube, take a card, refill, that's it. And so you mix up the locations. Oh, over 3 billion possible setups. Wow. You could have the peaceful cavern, or the active cavern, or the lively cavern. Oh, this definitely isn't from an ad. Games move very quickly. Ad. It is super easy to teach. That wasn't an ad for sure. Let's go to the how to play. Place effort in the 6 locations. Activate the location. And then you refill the location. So here's how you score greatness. Some achieve greatness and some have greatness thrust upon them. Score greatness based on your armor sets and completed items. That makes sense. There's 6 sets of armor. Get all of them. Attributes. Score greatness for having the most of an attribute. There's 6 attributes. Have the most. The player with the most attribute points in each of the 6 attributes will score 1 greatness for each that they have. Score each setting from top to bottom. Every setting scores differently. Some grants points to everything that meets their conditions, while only others grant points to the player with the most or least effort. So you're basically doing a little area control game, and you're doing a little card collecting game. Yeah, that's not bad. $39 though, 54 Canadian, and then what's shipping? Sweet, there's a rule book, but I feel, oh, and then there's a few expansions that you can add in. But yeah, I think they explained it pretty well, and it's not a very large rule book. It's always good to check. Shipping to the US is $13, so you'd be paying $52 for this game if you live in the US. For me in Canada, I'd be paying $59 US, so $60, which is like $80-something for this game, which unfortunately is just, you know, just too much to consider. Seems fine, but I could get a similar thrill of prepping for an adventure by the game Call to Adventure. That's something that I could play. That finishes Friday, July 26th at 4 a.m. if you're interested. Moving along, over to 20 Strong. You know, I'm a bad reviewer. I was gonna bring 20 Strong to Halifax. I've had it for a little bit. I even got the special scent on it, the stinky dice, which, if the dice happen to come out the same way, which they won't because they're going to be obsessive about quality controlling. For those of you who don't know, for everybody who got their 20 Strong, the dice didn't have time to off-gas, essentially, and so they just got packaged away, and they all smelled a lot. But if you just put it in a bowl of like water and vinegar for a day, and then take it out and dry them, worked completely fine. I didn't have to do anything more laborious than that for my set. I still haven't played it though, and I have everything, and I'm excited to play it, and I'm gonna do a review on it, and I'm a bad reviewer, and it's been way too long, but I just forgot it. I forgot it, and I've been traveling too many places. Luckily, I have Black Sonata, so, you know, there's a solo game that I could play while I wait to get back. But 20 Strong is 3 new decks in the 20 Strong series. The essential base of 20 Strong Solar Sentinels is you'll have these dice, and you'll have a character. The characters will have your sort of hit points. That's how much health you have, the amount of dice you can refresh, the amount of dice that you get to refresh, and another stat, which I forget. Your attack, your defense, I don't know, one of them. Oh yeah, the manufacturer lost their contract. That makes sense. I think 20 Strong won one of the death matches as like sort of favorite of the year. 20 Strong has gone super far. And so here's what's new. Anyway, I'll find out what that third stat is, and I'll get it to you, I swear. Or my name isn't John Morkelstein. In this, you're going to be traversing Tanglewoods, so you get a little bit of Slay the Spire, roguelite, expanding, choosing your path, essentially. And you'll get a bunch of creatures who will challenge you in unique ways, either alone or in tandem. Essentially, you're working your way through the deck of 20 Strong. You're choosing how many dice to commit. Each dice has a chance of hitting, and that's what the colors are. That's what also the little swirls are around them. So these purple dice that are coming out, they've got like 5 notches around them, so that means 5 of the 6 sides hit. For the ones that only have 2 notches, it means 2 of the 6 sides hit. And so you choose what dice to use, easily accessible with the color, roll as many as you like, but you're only going to get to refresh a certain number of them. And so because of that, you need to manage and push your luck and see how much you roll, and then there are other elements to consider as well. That was the base Solar Sentinels, and then there's a Too Many Bones one, where you work your way through some stuff, and then Victorum, Hoplomachus Victorum, there are like 9 different locations where you're running around to. So here they're evolving it even further, in which you're going to be going on a little choose your own adventure journey, going through the path, and having to face a bunch of scary enemies. Another unique aspect of the Tanglewoods series is the sack of gold given to the player, which is measured by your chip tracker. Okay. Most enemies in the deck can be bought off with a bribe, so you can avoid some fights. After all, enemies are also the only way to get gold. Plus, you want to spend your gold at the market. Bunch of services and reconnaissance and items. Cool. That's like, oh, good job, 20 Strong. At least you have the red rulebook. To win Tanglewoods Red, you have to traverse the forest, reach Grandma's cabin, and defeat the big bad wolf. Incredible. Minion, wolf, fable, or campfire? Yeah, it's just slay the spire. That's exactly what this. Minion, wolf, campfire. This is just slay the spire. Which I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's probably a good thing to replicate because people love it. Strategy and recovery die. Strategy die. Is that how much you can re-roll? Okay, the strategy phase where you commit, roll, and apply dice to active conflict cards. And the resolve phase, so you can do the strategy phase, so you can add more dice, essentially. So there's not necessarily re-rolls, but it's how many dice you want to commit each time. And it's how many items you can hold. That's the strategy number. Otherwise, it seems pretty simple other than just making your way through the map. Let's see what the other decks give us. Gold, aka Goldilocks. Round C, selecting a map, which requires specific directions to complete, hence your little direction deck that you're getting. Cool. And then we have the white deck, the Snow White deck. You have to build up, killing enough minions that you can then commit dice equal to the number of cards placed under them throughout the play. So you're killing minions, you're putting them under the final boss, and then you're working your way towards that. Yeah, I mean, oh, Baba Yaga campaign expansion. Whoa. Play all 3 decks in order. Oh, that's kind of fun. Each deck will have a new minion sent from the witch herself to impede your progress. And if you don't fight them, they'll be at Baba Yaga's side later on, so you gotta fight them. Yeah, so if you already have 20 strong, they're 20 bucks a deck. And from the variability that I have seen in the game system, 20 bucks feels decent, you know? It doesn't feel great when you're paying 100 bucks and you realize, oh, I've bought 3 decks and I've barely played one of them, which I think is a tendency that we can all fall into. But if you are really enjoying 20 strong and you've played through your Hoplomachus and you've played through Too Many Bones and you've played through the Solar Sentinels and you've played that enough, then I can see this being a great addition to a new symbol. I think that if you're deciding between base options, I think the Tanglewood base would probably be more interesting. I think Solar Sentinels is okay. Like I mean, I haven't played it that much. I played it like a tiny little bit, but not enough that I can really talk about it. Like I played some demos and like I haven't completed a full game. That being said, I think the base Tanglewood looks more interesting than the base Solar Sentinel. That's all. Or you can become a strategist, which was pledged 12 times. Wow, that must have been a mistake. Usually it's only 10. Where you get every single Chip Theory game, the base pledge, for free. So I imagine it was this deck bundle. I like the Baba Yaga mini expansion. That seems kind of fun. Shipping, actually Chip Theory shipping is usually pretty good to flat rate, right? 10, 15, well, it's not as good when you're not spending this on like Burn Cycle or Too Many Bones or Cloudspire, but you're doing it on just like small decks of cards. That's when the flat rate gets you. What? I'm subsidizing your Too Many Bones? Let's riot! Yeah, I've heard that this is just a really fantastic system by solo gamers. Again, I really need to try it out. But I think, you know, if you like dice chucking and you don't mind doing that by yourself, check it out. The finish is on the 26th at 6 p.m. We're going to keep moving forward from Friday to Saturday. Next up, we've got Boom Patrol, arcade-style tank battling action. See what this one's all about. Crush buildings, find power-ups, and make things go boom. yeah, this one kind of looks fun. Oh, somebody said this to me and they said, hey, this looks fun. They said it's by the creators of the Night Cage, but don't ignore it because I think it looks fun. I wouldn't ignore it. Oh, I do. I think it also kind of looks fun if you like measurement movement. If measurement movement wasn't ranked in your bottom 10 of 150 mechanisms, I don't know who might have put that there. But even still, this might be a good way to, a light way to think about measurement movement. It seems pretty simple. You just want to run yourself into everybody else, programming your tanks to run over buildings and each other. It's like Mario Kart meets Battle Bots, but with animals in the tank. Yeah, that's a great quote. Because that's what I'm exactly thinking, right? Like, you know the battle mode in Mario Kart? If you like that, you want that in sort of board game form, that would be this one. $35. You can save $5, which means that, don't you wish this was in retail? And this measurement mechanic, genius. Well, what's so genius about it? I guess we better go to the how to play. You program 3 command cards, you reveal your initiative, and then you execute your command cards. You maneuver forward, you can veer right, you can fire away and roll dice, and you gain medals, gold, and glory by making stuff go boom. That seems pretty simple. Download the rules, yes please. Oh, that's a nice command card. So command cards are just moving you around, but there's also the again, so you can take 2 things in a row, surprise people, and you can always bail out and be like, okay, I'm not going to move, I'm going to repair. You crush buildings, you ram tanks, got a little measurement movement thing. Yeah, I mean, it seems fun enough. What's shipping like? Canada, $20. Hey, buddy. So it's still 55 US or like 70 or 80 or something, which I think this will probably hit retail pretty easily. And then you don't have to pay the shipping. And it's got measurement movement, which I don't really like. But it could be fun. Definitely could be fun if you're in the mood for some sort of easy programming. Also, I don't really like programming. But if you like the things that I don't like, well, maybe you might be interested. That finishes Saturday, July 27th at 12:59 a.m. All right, let's move along to Terrorscape, Putrefied, Enmity. This is a special expansion to one of the most anticipated games, Terrorscape. Anticipated? Well, I guess. A one versus many hidden movement board game with classic movie horror vibes. Escape for your life or enjoy your hunt as the killer. A few of my patrons have played this game. George, Ken, Dirk, let us know in the comments how you liked it. They played it at Niagara. I think this might have been number 1 for one of them as like their favorite one that weekend, or I might be mistaken. Because one was Castles, one was Rising Sun. Could have been, I think they enjoyed it. It seemed to enjoy it. You're essentially you've got this big old house separating you and the killer is running around in the house, and you have to avoid the killer running around in the house before they just, chainsaw the crap out of you. I wonder what this new expansion is. I assume it's just a different board, maybe a different house, maybe some different enemies, just adding content to the system already. All right, so the new expansions, Deluxe, some Sundrop sold out. I guess they had some previous stuff. Expansion, the Putrefied Enmity. New characters and a map. Exactly what I thought. The Queen, once beloved Queen, has dead summoning and domination. Well, that's what every queen should have. And Ophelia, the reporter, Dylan Wan, the cameraman, Caleb Peel, the producer, as you're running around the tomb. So how much is the OG Terrorscape? $100, 110 Canadian, 79 US. That's not too bad. I mean, you do get a big old health stand. Like, the table presence of this game is fun, but it essentially comes down to a dual hidden movement game, right? The survivors kind of are trying to hide, the butcher is trying to track them down, or you're also trying to hide as well. It's raised a bunch of money though, that's cool. And then, or the new content bundle, that seems like a lot. 89 just for the new content when you only get a little bit. No, what's just the expansion? Collector's bundle, new content bundle. What if you just want the Putrefied expansion? Yeah, it's a little add-on here, essentially. Oh, okay, and there's this expansion and this expansion, Amorphous Peril, Feral Instincts. It's not something, like, it looks fun. It looks fun enough. I think if you're a big fan of it, maybe you'll get that expansion content. Maybe you'll want this deluxe storage boxes if you have everything. I don't really know how it's stored. It feels like it's an okay thing to take a chance on at 79. I think it's really banking on the table presence, essentially, more than anything else. It's banking on that big that big screen. Essentially, it's just a big old screen so that you can sit on one side of the table or the other and not reveal hidden stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It still would come to like 150 Canadian. I don't know if the table presence is that exciting beyond that big screen. I think that's doing a lot of the weight. But yeah, I don't know. Seems all right. If you're interested in that, that finishes over on Game Found on the 29th at 12:59 a.m. Moving along, that's Monday the 29th. Moving along to Mixtape Engine Building card game for 1 to 4 players. Hit play on strategy, mix genres, match tempos, and capture hearts in this nostalgic musical journey engine building card game. All right, let's check this one out. Are you ready to impress your crush? That's kind of funny. It seems like there are these cards in 3 different colors. You're going to want to chain those colors together, and then you're going to want to hit play on your mixtape. You're either going to add to your mixtape or you're going to play your mixtape, which will give you groovy tunes. Right, draw from 3 distinct decks. Fill your tape with emotion and harmony. Play songs onto the A or the B side of your mixtape. Activate their unique... Okay, so you have A or B, so you got to balance it out. So, because once you play A, then you have to play B before you can play A again. That makes sense. Earn victory points by connecting the song with your crush's preferences, notes you jot down, tempo transitions, and mixer levels. So whatever your crush loves, those are the objectives. You can pick one of 3. You listen to the radio, so you gain song cards, you add them to your hand. You record by paying the card's cost. You have to pay that in cards as well, Race for the Galaxy style, or you play your current side of your mixtape. There's the rules, but I feel like I've got it. The only thing that I want to know is, well, 2 things. 1, I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. And 2, I forget what the second one was. Oh yeah, just to double check that's what that means. Base score, harmony score. So you get to get bonus points when you make a harmony, when it flows perfectly into each other. Crush cards. Yeah, number of themes on the crush's mood. Yeah. Adjacency. Yeah, discard a single other card from your hand. Yep, this seems fun. Fun little theme that doesn't really matter. It's just colors. Print and play. $8. Okay. Nice. Or 1 copy, $19? 26 Canadian? Is that 26 now? Jeez, the dollar must be getting worse or better. That feels pretty good. It's just a bunch of cards and some slider stuff, a couple things, but $19, that's good. I like that. Then USA, $9 shipping to the US, really nice. 18 to Canada, so doubles it for me. You know, makes it like kind of $50 for me to get. Still, I really like the $19 price, and I think that is great. I think it's really great. That gets me excited. Okay, if you're interested in that, it finishes Monday, July 29th at 12:59 a.m. I think it's a good deal. So there you go. We're going to move along. We're going to keep on moving quickly to Sirens, the Deep Sea, a full co-op adventure and exploration board game. Explore the deep sea, collect resources, construct buildings, build supply chains, develop your sirens, and fight against different cultures, as the majority of Americans do, monsters and bosses. Well, no, they are the monsters and the bosses. Choose between scenarios and free mode. Okay, let's see what this one is all about. Oh, no video. Okay, cool. Humans are always looking for new resources. That's true, and now we can take it from Atlantis. Well, at least you're fighting against the humans who are using the honorless clans to pilfer the ocean. Because it's co-op, you're fighting against the humans. Spirit Island-like, I suppose, which is nice. Okay, what's the core game? Core game is €79, $120 Canadian, 30 to 50 hours in this scenario co-op-based gameplay. So free mode, forget about it. Nobody's going to get a campaign game for the free mode. I just think that doesn't exist ever. Scenario mode. Each scenario has a normal and a hard mode, different options. There'll be battle, escort missions, economy missions, mixed missions. Looks like they'll be moving things. I do love the makeup on that hand, though. That's sweet. You craft equipment and develop your siren. You bring the final material to traders, and you can upgrade, level yourself up. Unique weapons, armors, saddles, and nets. Everybody has their own little ability tree. I like tech trees. As you leapfrog over yourself and create your own special abilities. Cool. You're going to be fighting against whales. Okay. Streaming tubes, whirls, and earthquakes. Okay. Different terrain. Oh, sirens? What the heck and heck? Rulebook, work in progress, coming soon. Is this soon? I mean, we're 8 days away from it finishing, so probably less, because I'm filming this, Saturday? I'm filming this part on Saturday. It's 8 days left now, then, because it's next Monday. But there is no rule book right now. I mean, there are a few videos that you can watch through of people playing a bunch, but like I want to look up these new mechanics. Ooh, the hydrothermal vents for momentum. I want to see what there's the difference of between this terrain. I want to see how much you can move. I want to look into how the ability points are divvied out. I want to see what the fighting's like. Is it just rolling dice with modifiers based upon your items? I want to see if there's a crafting mechanic. I want to see a bunch of different stuff. But you know what? I'm also pretty tired because I have COVID. So it's a good you saved me some time there, Sirens, because now I can just hypothesize and say, sorry, you're too expensive, without you giving me the guilt of reading through your whole rulebook. So sorry, Sirens. But some people have resonated with this. I think it looks like it could be cool, but I would never take a chance on this without reading the rulebook. I guess there are some scenarios that are set out, so that should encapsulate some of the rules. But a lot of those sort of demo scenarios, I'm finding more and more as like a reviewer, the demo scenarios are often like the teaching scenarios, and the teaching scenarios like suck. Like they're not representative of all that the game can offer, right? I feel like I get a better sense of what's going to happen as we move forward. But there we go. That's the end of that one. That's going to finish also on the 29th at 1 p.m. We're going to keep moving, because this looks pretty simple. I bet I can bang through this. And it just so crossed its goal from when I was looking at it to when it didn't. So congratulations, Tack, a 2-player dice strategy game. Harness the wind, outwit your opponent, and sail to victory. Sure, I want to see what this is like. Compact strategy game. You move your dice within a grid, aligning them to equal row values to score. Kind of reminds me a bit of that Knizia one of filling up rows. That was just Iliad or Icor or whatever. Block your opponent, use abilities to your advantage. There's some abilities down here, I guess. Outwit your opponents. How to play. Set up the game. That makes sense. Select a wind card. Roll your dice, place them in their starting position. Move a dice backwards or forwards within a grid. Okay, so you only have 5. You can move one of your dice forwards, backwards. Dice may not jump over other dice or move sideways. So you're resigned to your own limb. If the total of all the dice in the row equals the wind value, you score 1 point for each of your dice in the row. Your opponent scores 1 point for each of the dice in their row as well. I see. So you're setting yourself up, you move it forward and back, and you have this win card, so you want to hit 11. So if I have a 6, I could put it there, but then my opponent could just move the 5 and we would equal, right? So you want to position yourself in a way. Scored dice are then re-rolled, returned to the starting position. Cool. Okay. And then you want to get to 8 points. So you're just trying to balance out this tactical. You just want to make it with 3 numbers, essentially. Or seeing what numbers your opponent has, or blocking your opponent's numbers. I see a few tactical choices in here. I think that kind of fun. Sounds fun. Storm abilities to your advantage. You can increase the difficulty. Cool. Dice may jump over higher opponents, so you can jump and move forward. You can push yourself. Like this 6 being down here has just blocked this row as well. And that's something that you could do if you really wanted to. Yeah, this seems neat. Print and play, $2. That's awesome. $24, not as awesome. I would have wanted it to be like 19, but it only ships to the United States. And what's the shipping like? And there's no information on the shipping. I mean, they're probably just going to be doing it solo. Oh, shipping costs. Here we go. There are no extra shipping costs. Oh, there are no extra shipping costs for all rewards. So it's 24, including shipping. That feels a lot better. Tack the game or Tack International. Look, $30. International backers are responsible for VAT fees, but they're just going to be shipping it from the US. Well, there you go. So $42, but that's all in with shipping. That feels pretty decent. Yeah, I like this a lot, actually. I think this looks kind of cute. Fun little tactical game for 2 players. Play pretty quickly. Nice way of using dice and just general arithmetic. So if you're interested in that, it finishes Monday, July 29th at 1:05 p.m. Moving along, I don't know what this is going to be, but it's a 1 to 8 player hardcore cooperative zombie survival strategy game. Epic single player, frantic 8 player. You're probably going to die. Well, let's see what it's all like. Here's something that's intriguing here. It's solo-centric, but it could be full co-op, as you're expanding your settlement, fighting and exploring these different tiles that are out there, and then the zombies will sort of move in. Tower defense, I guess. Defensive combat area control. I created a really hard game where things only go from bad to worse as you're slowly overwhelmed by zombie hordes. It's really fun. That's what the creator says. I like the idea of this, that each one of these tiles is going to give you a special ability. That seems neat. And using that effectively seems pretty cool. How to play. Every dead body that's not exterminated because one of them, oh no, Played over 3 phases. The opening phase, survivor phase, zombie phase. You build the city. Each settlement is unique, granting access to different resources. Okay, sure. Opening phase. Reveal Doom. Your duty to protect the city. Every time a settlement's overrun, players add a Doom card to the tracker. Doom card events can and will kill you. Each day, Doom cards are revealed. So different bad things. Reveal hordes. Reveal a zombie horde for each survivor. Okay. So you basically always have to take one out. That math makes it hard. I forgot how to play Dead of Winter once upon a time, and I only gave us a dice for each survivor, and boy, was it completely horrible to play because you didn't have that extra dice to get ahead on anything. So that's what this feels like it would feel. Dead of Winter, that's hard or nigh impossible. Move settlers and helpless settlers can help expand your survivor city, so protect them as they move to build new settlements. If they die, the game is over. Okay. Add new hordes. Empty spaces around the survivor city are crammed with new hordes drawn from the horde deck. Move around your city, gain access to resources and passive settlement effects. Develop, spend experience to construct buildings, weapons, vehicles, learn new skills whenever you're in a spot. Trade resources with items of survivor. Attack, make your stand against the undead. Roll resource die, attempting to match a horde's resistance. Sure. So they must all have a different way to be killed. Or gather specific resources, or access unique settlement effects, or search to get new items, and then the zombies move. That's a lot of stuff that you can do. How much are you going to be? Probably 50 pounds. And that's the early bird, 89 Canadian. So again, this would be like $100 game, which is unfortunate when it's meeples, you know? But there's a bunch of different meeple sculpts, and they all do different things. That's neat. Hopefully those are unique enough for colorblind people. Basically, you just jump in, you're going to have a number of different survivors. So it feels like it is designed for solo, which is not a bad thing in this day and age, because it's the solo people who are able to get more games to the table, because they don't have to worry about people backing out on the game. Oh, is there no rulebook here as well? Seems like it. £7 to the UK shipping, United States or states to Canada, 22 to 25. Oof, that's a lot. It's going to be like 140. I might have missed it, because my head's not in it. But maybe it's not. Maybe I'm okay. Rule? No, I only see one rule in my search. Again, no rulebook. No rulebook, which means no consideration from your boy. It's nice they do have a few videos though, but like what if I want to have a list of what all your settlements do, you know? I got a good sense of kind of the flow, but I don't have a sense of the nitty-gritty. And maybe I missed it. FAQ, there are no FAQs. Solo play. Outbreak rulebook now available. The rulebook is here. Ugh. Why is it not? Why the hell is this not on the main page? Like, why is this not front and center on the main page? If I missed it, I'm sorry, but now I gotta look at it. This isn't the rulebook. A rulebook right here. Like, if I click on a link to the rulebook, just give me the link to the rulebook. Don't give me another ad. I guess I could have looked at it in the Sirens updates as well, but if it's not on the main page, like, really. Because even just breaking this down is useful for me. Title and icon, so icons relate to different places. Settlement skill category, type of skills your survivor can learn here, and then the settlement aid have either one of two sources of aid that can be requested as an action. See the icon key reference for more details. I do want to see the icon key. That does seem nice if this would ever load. I do like this though. You can reveal one horde per survivor. And so you get to kind of choose which hordes to reveal. That seems neat. That looks like what they're saying. I see. Can perform each of these 4 actions once. So you move, you develop, you trade, and then you attack or do aid or search. Everybody has their own movement speed. Yeah, develop can build garrisons, watchtower skills, turrets, fortresses. Have to match the resources. So 1 in 2 and 6 chance, because you the actual one and the wild is what you have a chance to get. So 33% chance on each dice to hit. And the hordes, when they die, that might do something bad. Yeah, I mean, I think this looks fun. I do think it looks fun. I think it's annoying that they don't put the rulebook on the main page, because that's absolutely insane to me that you have to dig into an update if you want to get more information about the game. But I guess that's what an update's for. It's still like $140, $130 Canadian after shipping for me, though, which is not something that I'm particularly interested in. It just is too much for what it's doing. I mean, does it overthrow Zombicide? Zombicide will be more fun as like a dice chucker. This will be a little bit more strategic as you hold the line, but yeah, it's it doesn't feel like a horrible addition to the zombie genre. That finishes Tuesday, July 30th at 8 a.m. And we've reached the last one for the week, The Flames of Fafnir, a physics-based board game. Oh, is this the one with where you throw the Dragon Balls at each other? I think so. Push your tactics to the limit in this innovative strategy game driven by physics. Ooh, we always have to have a little catch. So let's see if this is that one. Well, that was a very fun video. I see why people are enjoying this. Oh, so here's how you win against the dragon. It spits out one fireball and knocks you back. You gotta build barricades so it stops. They gave me the upgraded marble components, which made the game still challenging, but also balanced. This was a smart choice on their part and worked a lot better. So if you don't get the upgraded marble components, you're F? I don't know. I assume you get to move Fafnir as well. Otherwise, here's a physics solution for you. Go to the outside. Run in a zigzag. Move your hero and perform one of the following actions. Collect, so you can get resources that you can use to deploy defensive buildings to protect the village. Slay, you can kill monsters. Prey, you can slay, prey, or run away. Or you can build. Use your resource to deploy these defensive buildings. Well, this has got to be one where the, deluxe is probably the most important. The collector's pledge, maybe not. Move to threaten different areas of the battlefield. Yeah, you just kind of move it left or right. Load fireballs of different sizes and ultimately shoot them at the village. How the game is won or lost. Eventually, a hero will reach the dragon's lair and will face a tough choice. Stay loyal or betray the other players. If you betray, you become the dragon rider and control the dragon, and now you destroy the village. You decide to stay loyal, attack the dragon anytime you can. You need the runes. So that is pretty fun. It's like a race to the dragon to see who can become the betrayer. And then you can just destroy the team. That seems pretty fun. Core components. Well, this isn't the components of the core game now, is it? They're just showing you this to let you know that's collector's pledge. But you just have this cardboard stand, which is fine. You're rolling a little marble. Boom, boom, boom. Fireball marbles. They represent the dragon fireballs. Oh, thank you. I couldn't tell by the term fireball marbles. Few different dragons, few different expansions. They'll throw marbles at you. This will add in different things that you can use to block. Is there really no, am I in the Twilight Zone? Or is this just I must just be the focus. Are you up for the challenge? No, there's no rulebook on this one as well. How do I know? Do I move with action points? Do I move with a movement stat? What can I spend my resources on? How much do all the buildings cost to make? Do those feel like fair exchanges? No, not going to let me engage with it, huh? Well, that's fine because I'm tired, so I'm done. If you're interested in that finishes Tuesday, July 30th at 8 p.m. That's really disappointing. Just really disappointing. There's no reason, especially if this is Lucky Duck. I think it must be, yeah, it's Lucky Duck. There is no reason for Lucky Duck not to have rules on the page. I must just be missing it. I always just assume that I'm missing it. Rules. You got me going. You got me up here. Rules, maybe? Rule? Don't even know what's being highlighted over here. Well, what a disappointing end. But if that's the care that you want to give people to engage with your game, then I think they should engage with something better, because clearly it's not interesting enough to let people look under the hood. You want people to be oohed and awed by the marble rolling and not have any other mechanics behind it. Seems like that's what you're putting forward to me. Anyway, yeah, that finishes Tuesday. Oh, there's Allplay again, a little little end tab for you. That's it for the week. So every week I do a pick for me, a pick for you, and yes, I'm leaving that cryptid up there on purpose because it represents how I feel all topsy-turvy by nobody giving me what I need. But let's look for the grunt down, because I forget what I've looked at, and I need to do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I think is the most interesting mechanically, that I would have the highest chance of purchasing, and the pick for you being the thing that I think you'll have the least disappointment if you ended up getting it. So let's see. Yeah, that's a good start. No. Meh. Nah. 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 No. Nah. Absolutely not. No. I mean, yeah. Absolutely not. Meh. Yeah. 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 I'm getting nice in my old age. I'm just saying, yeah, yeah. When they really should be meh, meh, mehs. But yeah. Okay, here's a meh. Meh. And then a big old meh. Big old marble rolling fireball meh. Here's a firebolic meh. That's how I feel about that. I think I have it. I think I have it. I think I have the two. I think I'm happy with both of these as the two. Tack is close, but it doesn't get to be Tack. Pick for me is this 1980 Sixtina. It was a really, really lovely start to the round, to the crown clamming clamp tramp. And I think there could be a nice little game here, and I think the price is nice as well. 29 Canadian, that just feels really good. And I think there is maybe going to be an interesting flow of the slight area control, but nothing that you really need to worry about. And I think the pick for you is mixtape. Heck, I think that's what it is. I think, again, $19 is a nice price for what looks like a very simple engine building game of throwing cards down, activating their abilities. I like the A side and the B side. I think there just might be just enough to make this slightly different from another engine building game that you have. And I think it's a fun theme, and I think the price deserves to be rewarded. And yeah, I think this one really surprised me. Really surprised me. So both of those were exciting surprises this week. I always like when there are small indie games that aren't charging an arm and a leg and are just doing their best to follow their dreams and desires and give you a good price. You know, I think that's really nice. And so yeah, 1980 Sixtina and Mixtape both look like pretty solid. But let me know what you're backing. If you've played anything fun recently, how you feel. Let me know all of it. I'm going to go chill and do something else, or maybe I'm going to edit this. But I appreciate you all being here. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, but I do have COVID. I feel completely fine. It's frustrating. My show has been canceled this weekend because a few of the members of the cast have COVID, myself included. And that's more frustrating than the little tickle in my throat, you know? But what can you do? There are no more restrictions that are actually in play for COVID. Like, people can fly on planes with it now and whatever. Like, it's not a pandemic anymore. But we're still, we're still mindful of it. And it's a bummer not to get to do the shows, though. But hopefully we'll be back soon. Thanks, everybody, for being here, though. That's my little life update, because you made it to the end. So you didn't immediately switch off after the pick for me, pick for you. So that must mean you're one of the good ones. So I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next.